Welcome to MumAbroad's interview of the week. Today I have Valerie Aston with me. She's a mum of 3 teens and she's a business advisor based in Normandy. She set up a start business in France in 2009, and she helps English speakers create and manage their small businesses. Hi Valerie, thank you for joining me today.
Hi Jane.
Valerie, what's the most common reason why people approach you for help?
Usually they come to me because they feel lost. They moved to France, they're restoring their house, they've got a great business idea, but they're getting confusing advice. They're getting advice from friends, or they've got an accountant and they can't make sense of whatever he's saying, and they feel lost with their business, or they have nightmares, or they're just getting really worried. So that's why they get in touch with me.
Do you think for a lot of people it's a language barrier, cultural barrier, bureaucratic barrier, or all 3 mixed together?
It's several. I think many expats who come to France, they've lived in different countries. They definitely have the entrepreneurial spirit. Many of them have had businesses or freelance elsewhere. And when they come to France, it's more understanding the system, which is tricky, because most of them would have at least an idea of what they want to do. They know where they want to go, but getting to understand the system, know who does what for them, how much taxes they're supposed to be paying, what's the best option in terms of legal structures, that is what's confusing. And to me, that's why I started this business, is because I felt really bad for people who take a lot of risk by going abroad. They're going for lifestyle, they want to spend more time with their family, do a new challenge. And often they get stuck because they don't understand how the system works. And France so far didn't make it easy for foreigners to understand things. I think it's moving now because the entrepreneurial spirit and freelancing is increasing significantly in France. So I think in the future we'll see more and more information available in English that will help expat. But the tricky bit is that it's more understand who does what, and the language. When you move to France, I mean, you probably understand some French, but to that level of being able to understand administration, red tape, languages, which is extremely strong and high level, is just too much. So to me, I think it does make sense to say, right, I'm just going to concentrate on what I do best, but I get external advice to know where I'm going, or understand how much I'm going to pay at the end of the day, because otherwise you might be in jeopardy for your business by not understanding how much you have to save for social or fiscal taxes.
So if I was in France, wanted to set up my business, I have a clear idea of what I want to do, but I don't know how to go about it. I contact you, and how exactly do you help me? What's the service that you offer?
So there's several services. There's the forum, where if you already have a business and you're a bit stuck on a few questions and you want my support along the year, you join and you can ask me as many questions as you want along the year as they come along. There's the business school, which I just renamed the Power Hour, where you're ready to go and you just want to bounce as many questions to me so that you know where you stand. And that's why I call it the Power Hour, because for an hour, we're going to go through everything: regulation, timing, legal structure. So when you come up and say, wow, that's a lot of information, but now at least I understand where I'm going. I also register businesses, and I also do I launched some online courses last year to help people learn to manage their small businesses.
Okay, so if somebody they start their business and they're working with you, you're basically going to stay working with them for a whole year if they take the forum package. Is that right?
Yeah, if you take the forum, you're with me for the year, and chances are to start with, you're going to have loads of questions. Then it's going to slow down and your business develops, and you might think, right, I've got to do TDA now, I understand that, I don't understand that, or I've got a bill, I don't know what this is, or I want to add some extra activities, or I want to branch into something, I want to bounce ideas from you. So that would be through the forum.
And with the forum, does that mean that you have that business owners have interaction with other business owners as well, or it's just interaction with you?
They can have interaction with other business owners, but the reality is people want to pick my brain up. They want you join to get the idea of the forum is to get reliable answers and to cut through everything that you find on the web, because you find loads of information but you can't make sense of it, or you're getting information from friends of friends and you don't know what's reliable. So usually people join to get my point of view, because based on regulation, I would know what the next step is.
So what's your background been, Valerie? Before you started up your own business, what did you do?
So initially, I was working in marketing in the UK, in the software industry. And when I moved back to France, I still wanted to do that, but didn't want fancy going to Paris. So I moved in the middle of nowhere, Normandy, with my husband. And I had to change career because there was nothing, no jobs going. So I took a job which was business advisor to French entrepreneur. I did this for 10 years. And that was just fun because I was working with people more on a closer day-to-day basis. I would follow somebody for 3 to 6 months, seeing them every other week, helping work on their business plan, helping them work on their financial plan. And that's where the idea for this business came from. I started having English people coming to me, or when I went for dinner parties, always ended up having to explain things about businesses, because most people living here start freelancing or their own small businesses. And I also wrote some articles from some local newspapers, expats in France, and I started to get emails of people asking me questions. And then for fun, through the work I had at the time, I said, well, let's do a small workshop in English just for fun, and had people driving 3 hours to attend from where we were to attend this small workshop. Like, wow, there is something there. If people drive 3 hours to get clear information, there's something onto this. So I started a blog to recycle the articles I published in newspapers, and the number of emails increased to a point where I couldn't just answer anyone. So I started the forum and then grew up to a business school registration, and it just goes on. So initially it was for fun. And
the beauty of your business, I guess, is that you work a lot online, so you can work with people all over France.
All over France and all over the world, because I work with lots of English people, American, Canadian. I've got people from Iran, from India. It's just any expat who wants to live in France. So yeah, I've always worked online. So to me, for instance, when we had the lockdown, that didn't impact me so much because I was already working via Zoom and things like this. It just meant I had to push more of my services online.
Mm-hmm. So presumably the majority of your clients are already living in France and then decide that they want to set up a business, or I'm making that assumption. But do you have people who are then outside of France, think they want to move, they've got this business idea and contact you first to make arrangements before they actually move there?
Yeah, there's more people planning ahead, simply because non-European citizens have to request a visa to move to France. And if at some point they want to freelance and start a small business, they will need a business visa. And you have to be definitely more organized, because when you ask for a business visa, you need to do a business plan, financial plan, and you have to add in there detailed information. For non-European citizens, there's definitely more planning. And that means also for British citizens post-Brexit, for now, there's a lot of people rushing to get this done before the 31st of December, because past that, we need the carte de séjour. And if they are considered as non-European citizens, they will also need something like a business visa, which will lengthen the process of starting their activity.
Okay. I'm based in Barcelona, as you know, and here we have a huge number of mums who have started up their own businesses. Also in Madrid, I know, and also in the south, but in Barcelona in particular, they have a child, they take some time off, and then they need to go back to work, and they can't do what they were doing originally, and so they kind of reinvent themselves and they look for another path. Are you finding that in France as well, that you have a lot of women who have had children are going back to work and want to set something up for themselves?
Yeah, that's very similar with the customers I have in Paris. Quite often you have couples moving to Paris. One of the couple, most often the man, will take a big job and the family follows. And the woman is going to say, well, I'm going to take this opportunity to just enjoy Paris, start my family, really enjoy and have a good time. And after a few years, they think, well, yeah, this is great. I also want to get my brain ticking. And quite often they wouldn't be able to get the kind of job they had before. And that's when they start freelancing. So there's several options. Either they start freelancing on a type of activity activity that they had before, or they might take the opportunity to say, well, I want to live for my passion. I have a passion. I just love yoga. I enjoy doing Reiki. I want to be living from this. I want to start doing JIT or bed and breakfast. I want to have something I really enjoy and do workshops. And the last one is to reinvent themselves, saying, well, I did this before, but what I really want to do now is I want to become a pilot teacher, or I want to be doing this type of activity. I want to be a family coach. And they take this opportunity to train themselves and start freelancing. When we had the trend of mumpreneurs, I don't know if we still use that, but to say, I have my kids, but I'm starting to build something so that when the kids start going to the crèche or the nursery, I'll keep on developing the business. And it's a good timing. To me, it's a great timing, because as long as you don't put yourself under too much pressure, you just have to be realistic as to, right, I have 1, 2, 3 toddlers. And the reality of it is I have so many hours available in the week. Therefore, my objectives can be much higher than this. Otherwise, you're just going to really hurt yourself or put yourself under too much pressure. Just take your time, say, well, I'm going to grow this steadily, and when the kids grow, I'll just develop it further. And the beauty as well with most women can work online now from your former network, or you can do a bit of online and local, and that fits in really nicely with having toddlers. So it's just finding an activity as a mom that fits in with your lifestyle and the time that you have.
Yeah, that's hugely important, because you can have the best idea in the world, but if you don't have the time to implement it, then it's useless.
Yeah, it is. And it's also, to me, it's really key to have your objective that match the time. You know, if you only have 5 hours per week, that's fine, but just have objectives that reflect it. Don't say, well, next year I'm going to sell so much, or I'm going to be the best one. And don't compare yourself to other women who might be younger, no kids, work full-time on activity. Obviously, they're far ahead of you because they have more time. So you're just comparing yourself to people which are the same level as you. And also, to me, what's really important is to surround yourself with a network like Mums Abroad. You want to be in a network of mums who are living the same thing and who are going to be swapping ideas with you in a positive way. So to me, if you can find a mum network and also a mum entrepreneur network, or female entrepreneur network, that's great, because you can have people to bounce off ideas. Well, if you have someone who understands what having a small business or freelancing is helping you grow, it's helping you move forward, and you're going to swap loads of tips. You're going to learn about new tools, which is going to help you save time. So to me, having a mum's network and a women entrepreneur network is just a great way to help you with your activity.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Valerie. If people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
So they can contact me by email at valerie@startbusinessinfrance.com. And I'm also on most social network, either through Start Business in France on our Facebook page or Start Biz France on Instagram.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
What do you love about where you live?
The beach.
Can you recommend a family-friendly activity in your area?
So there's a museum called La Cité de la Mer in Cherbourg, and it's a nice museum where you have a submarine, you have fish, and you have the Titanic, because that's where the Titanic left for the last time from Europe.
What's your favorite part of France?
Apart from Normandy, that would be Aquitaine.
What's the worst thing about living with teenagers?
You can only have so many conversations about cats.
And the best thing about living with teenagers?
There's no filters. Things come as they are, whether they're positive or negative. They just come like this.
Your favorite weekend activity?
That would be going for a big walk, run, or swim on the beach with the kids.
Your favorite local restaurant?
So there's a small beach restaurant called the Baligan in Surville, and that's like a surfer's place, and you can eat burgers and have live music most Friday nights, and it's really a friendly place.
Anything that you dislike about where you live?
I live in rural France, which I really enjoy, but if you want to see a big show, a museum, it's just a bit of a trek.
Do you prefer the sea or the mountains?
The sea.
And what 3 words would you use to describe your life?
So I would say family, balance, and outdoors.